Welcome back, listeners. Today, we're exploring what it means to raise godly kids in a culture that seems to be moving further from biblical values. James, isn't it wild how parenting now feels like navigating an obstacle course blindfolded?
Absolutely, John. It really does feel like we're dodging pitfalls at every turn. From TikTok trends to classroom debates, parents face a barrage of challenges. But the heart of our episode is, how do we root our kids in truth when the world's shouting the opposite?
Great point. And I love that our theme verse, Proverbs 22:6, isn't just a fridge magnet, it's a strategy. Training up a child is proactive, not passive. Let's unpack what that looks like in real life as we move forward.
John, if you think about it, culture today is like a 24/7 streaming service constantly feeding kids messages about identity, success, and happiness. And let's be honest, most of those messages skip over biblical values entirely.
Exactly, James. It's like trying to plant a rose in a parking lot the environment just isn't nurturing. Studies show teens spend over 7 hours a day on screens, absorbing worldviews, sometimes before they even eat breakfast. That's a tidal wave of influence.
Right, and if parents aren't intentional, those values get absorbed by default. It's not that the world's discipling our kids, it's that it never stops. So, what's our counter strategy? That's what we'll dig into next.
So many parents worry about being perfect. But James, I think what really matters is being present. You don't need to have all the answers, you just need to show up, right?
Absolutely. In fact, research from Barna Group shows that kids are far more likely to adopt their parents' faith if they simply spend time together eating meals, praying, having honest conversations. It's not about grand gestures, it's about daily moments.
I love that. So, for all the parents stressing over Pinterest's perfect devotional steak, a breath. Your presence is the most powerful sermon your kids will ever hear.
John, kids are like little detectives, they notice everything. If we say, Jesus is Lord, but lose our cool in traffic or hold grudges, they spot the inconsistency. Authenticity isn't just a buzzword, it's the foundation.
Totally. It reminds me of that saying, more is caught than taught. If we want our kids to pray, forgive, or show integrity, we have to model it. No amount of Sunday school can replace what they see Monday through Saturday.
That's it. And when we mess up, and we will, owning our mistakes and seeking forgiveness shows them what grace looks like in real time. That's more powerful than 100 lectures.
Let's talk discipline. There's a myth that raising godly kids means laying down endless rules. But honestly, James, isn't it more about relationship than regulation?
Exactly. Harvard studies actually link consistent, loving boundaries with better emotional health later in life. Discipline isn't about controlled, it's about guiding with love and clarity. When kids know the why behind the rules, they're more likely to buy in.
So instead of just saying, because I said so, explain the bigger picture. That's how we move from obedience out of fear to obedience out of trust and love.
John, you mentioned earlier how much screen time today's kids rack up, guarding their gates, what they watch, hear, and who they hang. Why this essential? It's like installing a security system for their minds and hearts.
Totally. And it's not just about saying no to stuff. It's about teaching discernment why some music or shows promote values that don't align with our faith. Plus, peer influence is real. Studies show friends shape kids' beliefs even more than parents sometimes.
So, have those awkward conversations. Ask what they're seeing and hearing. It's better to be the annoying parent now than the regretful one later. Let's get practical with some strategies next.
Let's move from theory to action. One of the best ways to anchor kids is making Jesus the center at home. Not just on Sundays, but in everyday routines. What does that look like, James?
It could be as simple as praying before meals, reading a Bible story at bedtime, or even singing worship songs while driving. The key is weaving faith into the fabric of daily life so it feels normal, not forced or formal.
Exactly. Studies show that families who share spiritual practices at home see greater resilience and lower anxiety in kids. Faith becomes a safe place, not just a set of rules.
Another biggie, talking about truth. Culture is loud about identity, sexuality, and success. If we're silent, our kids will fill the gaps with whatever's trending.
right? And avoiding tough topics never works. A recent Lifeway study found that teens who discuss difficult issues with parents were 50% less likely to abandon faith. So don't dodge those conversations, lean in, even if it's awkward.
And always frame truth in love. We're not just giving rules, we're explaining why God's design is good. Think of it like teaching a kid to swim. You don't just toss them in, you guide them safely.
Let's be real, there are battles we just can't win on our own. Some struggles our kids face are way bigger than us. That's where prayer comes in. James, have you seen prayer make a difference in families?
Absolutely. I've heard countless stories kids struggling with anxiety, bullying, or even just loneliness, and parents who fought those battles on their knees. Sometimes the answer is immediate, sometimes it's slow, but prayer always moves the needle.
I love that. It's like having a direct line to the ultimate parent. Even when we feel helpless, we're never hopeless.
If you're listening and feeling overwhelmed, take heart. God doesn't expect perfection. He calls us to be faithful, not flawless. Every day is a new chance to trust Him with our kids.
Amen to that. Remember, you were chosen for your child on purpose. God equips us step by step, even when we feel like we're fumbling. Next week, we'll unpack how to handle faith and failure, because let's face it, we all fall sometimes.
So as we wrap up, stay rooted in the Word and keep it real with your family and your world. Parenting isn't a solo sport. God's in it with us.